Hey all, welcome back to Homeschool, and we are with the wonderful chapter Light, Reflection and Refraction. This is our second part on a chapter. See, if you want to watch the first part, I have covered all the basics that is required for the chapter, and we also have studied about the reflection, its laws, and also images formed by plane mirrors we studied. So all of them, if you want to watch it, the link is provided in the description where you can watch and get a very detailed explanation. And coming back to the today's video, let us start the video with a concept called spherical mirrors. The entire chapter is about the spherical things. Okay, we discuss reflection and refraction of spherical mirrors as well as spherical lenses. Okay, so now let us understand what do you mean by spherical mirror, and also let us understand the terms involved in spherical mirrors. There are certain terms which we keep on using them, okay, whose meanings are very, very important to understand, and they are important for board point of view also. Okay, so single line definitions can be asked about the terms that come in spherical mirrors. So let's discuss everything about the spherical mirrors and their terms. Clear? See, what are spherical mirrors? See, spherical mirrors are nothing but the reflecting surfaces are bent inwards or outwards. If the reflecting surface, you can note down the definition. If the reflecting surface is curved inwards or outwards is called what? Spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors. Okay, so what do you mean by reflecting surface curved inwards or outwards? So imagine, guys, there is a glass ball in front of you. Mirror is made up of glass itself. Right? So you have a glass ball. Imagine I cut this glass ball here. Okay, not at any point you can cut exactly at the center or anywhere you can cut. Okay, so I'm cutting this glass ball somewhere here. So what do I get? I get this particular part. This part I will get, right? Fine. Imagine if I polish the outward part. Okay, so outer surface I have polished with silver, and now this inward part, this inner part of a glass is a reflecting surface, right? And now which becomes a reflecting surface? Inward part. This is my reflecting surface. Okay, reflecting surface is inwards. This is what we call reflecting surface is curved inwards. Okay, so here such a mirror we will call it as concave mirror. Okay, so if the reflecting surface is inwards, then such a mirror is called concave mirror. So what is concave mirror? Reflecting surface is inwards. Okay, that means it is curved inward. Clear? And now the same part, the same cut part, okay, I polish inner part, I polish this part, okay, then this becomes my reflecting surface. Yes or no? This is our reflecting surface. So what happens here is reflecting surface is curved outwards. Yes or no? Reflecting surface is curved outward, curved or faced outward. So such a mirror we will call it as convex mirror. Okay, so like this we will get two types of spherical mirror. One is a concave mirror where the reflecting surface is curved inwards. The other mirror is the convex mirror where the reflecting surface is curved outwards. Clear, everybody? So you shouldn't get confused here. See, this is how we indicate concave mirror. Okay, this is how we indicate convex mirror. The best example is the spoon. See, this is our spoon, isn't it? So it has two faces. This is inward, this is curved inward, this is curved outward. Imagine this outer portion I will polish with silver coating. Okay, this outer portion I polished. Then which is my reflecting surface? This becomes a reflecting surface. Imagine this is a mirror. This part I polished. Then the reflecting surface is this. And how is it looking? It is looking as though it is curved inwards. It's looking like a cave, right? So if this particular side is polished, then this becomes your reflecting surface. No, this is what we call concave mirror. Okay, imagine if this inner part I have polished, then reflecting surface, if light falls, it should reflect from this particular area, right? Light can fall and it can reflect from this side. It cannot reflect from this side because this side I polished. So how is the surface looking? Surface is looking as though it is faced outwards. It is curved outwards. That's the reason this is called as convex mirror. Okay, so in a convex mirror, reflecting surface is facing outwards. Okay, in a concave mirror, reflecting surface is curved inside. Okay, it's looking like a cave. Reflecting surface is looking like a cave shape, like facing inwards. Okay, so this is about convex and concave. And now, if I look into this particular thing, okay, that means our, which is this? If this surface is polished, then reflecting surface is facing inwards. Then this is called concave mirror. Okay, see, I can see myself in this particular area. I look inverted. My head is bent down. If you want, right now you can get the spoon and check yourself. Okay, look yourself from this part of a spoon, which is looking like a concave mirror. This part is polished, this part is open for reflection, and look yourself, this is like a concave mirror and you look yourself inverted. Okay, so here in the concave mirror, the image is inverted. The image is appearing inverted, guys. Okay, and as you bring the image near, it looks magnified. Okay, I look very much big. As I bring very much near to my face, I look magnified. I look too much big. Okay, so you just keep this point in our mind. Anyway, we will discuss in detail about this. Okay, and hold the spoon like this. Now this is the reflecting surface. Okay, say this is like a convex mirror, right? Convex mirror is the reflecting surface is curved outwards, right? So if I look myself into this particular side, yes, I look very small actually, and whole lot of area on back can cover. Okay, say backside of me, I have a cupboard, I have a window, I can see all of them. Whole lot of an area can be covered. Actually, the convex mirrors are used in vehicles. The rear mirror is a convex mirror. Whole lot of an area can be covered. Whole lot of a traffic can be covered. Isn't it? Say here, the image is normal. Okay, and whole lot of an area can be covered here. Okay, I look actually little small. I look smaller than I am. Clear, everybody? Say the images look differently in concave and convex. Okay, the images doesn't look same. Here the image is looking different. Here the image is looking different. You can observe that with the help of a spoon itself. Right? So these guys are actually two different types of mirrors. Okay, so here the image has different characteristics, and convex mirrors images have different characteristics. So all of them we are going to study in a chapter. And before that, let us understand what are the terms related to these spherical mirrors. There are certain terms like pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature, aperture, focus. the principal focus, and also like the principal axis, focal length. We have so many terms like whose definitions, meanings are very, very important to understand. So let us go to the terms related to spherical mirrors. See people, this is how we represent concave and convex mirrors basically. See, concave mirror, the reflecting surface is facing inwards. So these dash 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 lines indicates that this side is polished, inner side is like it is meant for the reflection. So this is the reflection surface. And in the convex mirror, you see the inner part is polished, outer part is free. That means the outer portion is a reflecting surface. Reflecting surface is facing outwards. So this is normal indication of concave and convex mirror. And now let us speak about the terms here. The very first term that is very, very important to understand is pole. So what do you mean by a pole? Pole is nothing but the center point of a reflecting surface is called a pole. Okay, say here Mn, this much is the length which is there for reflection. So this is our reflecting surface. So which is the central point? Yes, this point is a center for the reflecting surface Mn. So this point we call it as pole, which is indicated with a capital letter P. Okay, same way here, Mn is the reflecting surface, this much area is the reflecting surface, and here the center point is this, right? So this is indicated with a capital letter P. So the central point of a reflecting surface is called a pole. So definitions are important. It can be asked in the examination. So careful, note down all the definitions. Okay. Central point of a reflecting surface is called pole. Okay. The very first term is our pole. Fine. And the next term is center of curvature. Center of curvature. So what do you mean by center of curvature? Imagine the reflecting part, the reflecting area is nothing but a part of a sphere. So no, from the sphere only, no, we have derived this concave mirror. We have cut the sphere exactly at this point. We got a concave mirror. So the reflecting part is nothing but a part of a sphere. So even in the convex mirror, right? So the reflecting part is nothing but a part of a sphere. Okay, so the moment you call a sphere will have a center, right? So here also sphere will have a center, right? So this center of a sphere is indicated with the letter C. Here also indicated with the letter C. And this center of a sphere, we call it as center of curvature. Okay, so what I will write here is reflecting part, or I will say reflecting area is a part of sphere. Is a part of sphere. Okay, sphere will have a center. Yes or no? Sphere will have a center. So that center of sphere, is called what? Center of curvature. Is called center of curvature. Remember guys. Okay. So reflecting surfaces of concave and convex is derived from a sphere. We have cut a sphere and we got these parts. Okay, reflecting parts. So if you imagine a sphere here, like a sphere will have a center, and that is what we call it as center of curvature. Okay, fine. And the next term which is important is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. So what do you mean by radius of curvature? This distance, the distance between the pole and center of curvature. The distance between the pole and center of curvature here also. Okay, this is called radius of curvature, represented with a letter R, capital R. Okay, so what I will write here? Distance. It is the distance between center of curvature and pole. Okay, I'm using a shortcuts here, but you write in a full form. C in the sense center of curvature, P in the sense pole. Okay, so distance between the center of curvature and P is called radius of curvature, which is indicated with capital letter R. Clear? Fine. And the next term is aperture. What do you mean by aperture? The reflecting surface where reflection occurs. Say the reflecting surface is what? Mn. Here this much Mn is the reflecting surface, right? So this reflecting surface, this much area where reflection is happening is called aperture. Okay, so what I'll write here? Reflecting surface where reflection occurs. Okay, this is the area where reflection occurs is called aperture. That means that Mn area is there, no? Here that is called aperture. Right, so these are the basic terms one must clearly understand. Okay, pole is nothing but center of aperture. I can say pole is the center of aperture. Aperture in the sense what? Reflecting area, right? This much is the reflecting area. So pole is the central point of a reflecting surface, right? And center of curvature is the center of sphere. If you imagine reflecting surface is a part of a sphere, then sphere will definitely have a center. So that center of a sphere is called as center of curvature. And now the distance between the center of curvature and pole is called radius of curvature. Okay, and aperture is nothing but reflecting surface. Length is called aperture. And now few points which are very important to remember is, listen carefully, pole is a center of aperture. Yes or no? Aperture is what? Reflecting surface. So pole is a central point of an aperture. Okay, and the second point is center of curvature. Center of curvature is what? Center of curvature is center point of a sphere. You can clearly able to differentiate between aperture and sphere, no? Aperture is a part of sphere, guys. Okay, so who is a center point? Which is a center point for sphere? Center of curvature. Which is a central point for aperture? Pole. Okay, this point of difference is very important. Okay, and now listen carefully. Where is the center of curvature placed in a concave mirror? Front side. Yes or no? Center of curvature is front side of the mirror. This is the front side. Reflecting side is the front side here for the concave mirror. Okay. So let me write that point here. C in the sense center of curvature is front. It is front in case of concave. In case of concave mirror. Okay, and C is, see here, where is the C in case of convex? It is back side of the mirror, right? So now reflecting surface is the front side, and you see this is a polished side. Say in the polished side your center of curvature is there. That means your C is back. C is placed back in case of convex. Okay, so this point of difference is very important. And now one more important term you have, that is principal axis. principal axis. Okay, so what do you mean by a principal axis? It's very simple, guys. An imaginary line drawn through a center of aperture and pole is called principal axis. Is called principal axis. Okay, so when you draw an imaginary line joining the center of curvature and pole, okay, so this becomes a principal axis. So what is principal axis? It is just an imaginary line drawn through center of curvature and pole is called principal axis. Clear, everybody? So these are the important terms that one must have to remember, okay, for the board examination point of view. And these terms we keep using, okay, every time. And there are two more important terms, that is principal focus and focal length. Let us discuss about them also. See, focus or principal focus, very, very important term to understand clearly. First, let me give its definition. See, focus or principal focus is nothing but a point on a principal axis. You all know what do you mean by principal axis, right? It is the imaginary line that is passing through center of curvature and pole, right? That imaginary line is called principal axis. So it is just a point, the principal axis, where reflected rays meet. Where reflected rays meet. This is very, very important. Point on a principal axis where reflected rays meet is called focus or principal focus. So meeting reflected rays is very important, isn't it? Because in the previous video we have studied image is formed where the reflected rays meet. Yes or no? So knowing the point where reflected rays meet is very, very, very important. And that point is on a principal axis. Somewhere in the principal axis, the reflected rays will meet. So that particular point is called focus or principal focus. And let us see in case of concave mirror, which can be a focus. Okay, so let us see where the reflected rays can meet at a single point. Fine. So when you draw an incident ray parallel to the principal axis. See, I am drawing an incident ray parallel to the principal axis, and this incident ray is meeting on a reflecting surface at D. So this ray will definitely reflect. Okay, so if you want to know in which direction, in which angle it is reflecting, we should know the normal. Yes or no? We should not, go out of the laws of reflection. We should always follow the laws of reflection. Whenever an incident ray meets at a reflecting surface, it should reflect. But to reflect, to draw a reflecting ray, you need a normal. So with respect to a normal only, we should draw a reflecting ray here. Okay. So how do you draw a normal in this particular curved surface? You know, if it is a plane surface, you know, how do you draw a normal? Just a line perpendicular to a surface. Since it is a straight surface, just if you draw a line perpendicular to this, this becomes a normal that we have seen in case of plane mirrors in the last video, right? Drawing a normal in a plane mirror is very easy. But here the reflecting surface is curved, no? So how do you draw a line perpendicular to this? Right? So at what point do you draw a line perpendicular to this? So drawing a normal becomes an issue in case of convex and concave mirror because the surfaces are curved, not straight. If it is a straight, you can at any point when you draw a line perpendicular to this, that becomes a normal. Okay, but if the surface is curved, how do you draw a line perpendicular to this? It's very difficult, right? So what do you do, guys? So normally, say when the surface is spherical, okay, say for example at this point, if you want to draw a normal. You know, if you put a tangent here, okay, so from a tangent to the center, when you draw a line, then that becomes a perpendicular line to the point, right? So with respect to this point, the line that you have drawn to the center, this is actually a radius. So this particular line is perpendicular to this point. Okay, say the same concept I will use here. See, my incident ray met at this point. My incident ray met at a point D. Okay, so from this point, I will draw a line to the center. Okay, then this becomes a normal for this particular incident ray. Okay, got to know? So drawing a normal in a curved surfaces is also important to understand. So if the incident ray is meeting at a point D, from that point onwards, just to draw a line to the center. Okay, so that itself is the normal for this particular incident ray. And now how does it reflect? So if this is the angle of incident, so this much will make the angle, same amount will make the angle of reflection. So my reflected ray is this one. Okay, so this reflected ray is actually meeting at this point in a principal axis. Yes or no? So let me draw a thicker reflected ray. Okay, so this is my first reflected ray which is crossing this point on a principal axis. Remember that point. Okay, fine. And now I will draw another incident ray parallel to the principal axis. Okay, say now I have to show its reflected ray also, right? For that, you know, first I need to draw a normal. Say at this point E, this incident ray is meeting at a point E. So from E, you should draw a line to the center. Then this becomes normal to this ray. Okay, say how does it reflect? In the same angle, with the same angle, this much is the incident ray angle, then this much will be the reflected ray angle, isn't it? So you see, this is our second reflected ray. See, this is my first reflected ray. This is my second reflected ray. So the second reflected ray is also meeting at this point. Yes or no? So this point we will call it as focus, F. This point we are calling it as F, guys. Okay, say in case of concave mirror, all the reflected rays will meet at a certain point on a principal axis. Okay, so that particular point we are calling as focus. Clear? So this is how we get focus in case of concave mirror. Okay, so focus point is obtained inside the mirror only, not outside the mirror. It is inside the mirror. See, all reflected rays will meet at a certain point. Okay, and which mirror can you call it as? Converging mirror or diverging mirror? See here what is happening, convergence of light rays, convergence of reflected rays are observed here. All rays are meeting at one point, right? So that's the reason the concave mirror is called converging mirror. Converging mirror, guys, because what's happening here? See, all the reflected rays are meeting at one particular point. Say from this point, you know, the reflected rays are passing through. Yeah, so concave mirror is called converging mirror. Reflecting rays are coming and meeting at this point and then going from that point onwards. Okay, so in a convex mirror, where do you get that focus point, guys? Let us work it out here also. If this is the incident ray parallel to the principal axis, you know, and which is a normal, this ray will reflect definitely, but before you draw a reflected ray, you must able to draw a what is that? Normal line. So how do you draw a normal here? I told you this incident ray is meeting at a point D. You imagine from this point to center of curvature, when you draw a line, you know, this becomes your normal, right? So this is your normal. and from the normal it will reflect back. Say this is the reflected ray 1. Okay, let me write the first reflected ray. Okay, now let me draw another incident ray. Okay, at a point E, right? And for this, which is a normal, from this point onwards, when you drag a line towards center of curvature, this becomes a normal. Say once normal is there, it makes an angle, and reflected ray, something like this. This is how, this is my second reflected ray. Okay, like this, it has incident, it has struck the surface and it reflected back. Okay, fine. So this normal, let me extend here till here. This is angle of incidence, this is angle of reflection. This normal, let me extend here, angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Okay, fine. And now actually, where are these reflected rays meeting here, guys? See, focus is a point where reflected rays have to meet. But here reflecting rays are diverging. Yes or no? Reflecting rays are not converging. See, reflecting rays are not meeting at one point like we have seen in a concave mirror. Reflecting rays are going back. Actually, that's the reason this particular mirror is called as diverging mirror. Okay, remember, convex mirror is called diverging mirror because reflecting rays are diverging, they are going away. Okay, but they have to meet somewhere in a point, no? Reflected rays have to meet. At that point only image can be observed. So where will they meet? Behind the mirror. Yes or no? This is behind the mirror. Say if you extrapolate the lines, extrapolate in the sense if you extend the lines behind, where do they meet? Say if this line I am extending, okay, say this line I have extended, this line I have extended, and the same way second reflected ray also I have extended. So this is the point where the reflected rays met behind the mirror, and that point I am calling it as principal focus. Okay, so principal focus is formed behind the mirror. In case of convex, principal focus is observed in front of the mirror in case of concave mirror. Okay, say here, so focus or principal focus is nothing but it is the point and the principal axis where reflected rays meet. Clear, everybody? So it is the point behind the mirror, actually the reflected rays are meeting in case of convex. In front of the mirror, the reflected rays are meeting in case of concave. Okay, so this is what we call principal focus. Okay, very important. And now the next term is focal length. Focal length is denoted with small f. Okay, and principal focus is denoted with capital F. Remember. So focal length is nothing but the distance between the pole and principal focus. You see this distance. The distance between the pole and principal focus is called focal length. Very important word. Write the definition. Distance between pole and focus, that is F. Distance between P and F is called focal length. Clear, everybody? See here, actually radius of curvature is equal to 2 times the focal length. Yes or no? See, exactly, you see distance between the pole and center of curvature is radius. Principal focus is the point exactly in between the pole and center of curvature. Then this distance, okay. Say if I draw here, this is a pole, this is a center of curvature, this is a focus. Okay, so this length is what we will call it as what? Focal length. So this length is what? This length is what? Radius, right? So radius is equal to 2 times the focal length, or I can also write focal length is equal to radius by 2, half of the radius. So no, focal length, this distance is nothing but half of this distance. Clear? So this is the relationship between radius of curvature and focal length. Okay, remember this relation. This is also a very, very important one. So what's a focal length? It is nothing but distance between the pole and principal focus. This distance. Okay, this distance is actually half of the radius. Okay, so that's why we will write R is equal to 2 into F, or F is equal to R by 2. Let's see one problem, one simple problem that can be asked on this formula. Can you give answer for this question and post the answer in a comment box, guys? I'll read out the question. A mirror has a radius 30 centimeters. R is equal to 30 centimeter. Okay. What will be the focal length F? Okay. You know the relation. R is equal to 2 into F, or F is equal to, you need to find out F, right? So what is the formula? F is equal to R by 2. R is given. Okay. So radius of a mirror is given. You need to find the focal length. So use the formula, calculate, and give the answer in a comment section. Okay, so this completes our video. So we have covered all important terms related to spherical mirrors, and in my next class we are going to talk about the very, very important aspects called the ray diagrams. How to draw a ray diagrams. Clear? So till then, keep revising the concept, and please post your opinion about the class in the comment section, so that we get more rejuvenated and more excited to tell the next classes. Okay, so your comments is the main motivation for us. So please do comment and do subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in the easiest way and in a detailed way. Thank you so much.